Let's take a look at the chart action for Dogecoin. Okay, so here is what I'm looking at. This is the lines and stuff that I'm looking at on my chart. The next targets that I'm looking at are .165 and .184. Let me show you how I got there. In general, I've been kind of speculative on Dogecoin because we get these bounces and then we just kind of start pushing back down. But we did have a couple downtrends. Let's go ahead and delete everything and let me show you what I've been looking at. Because we had a downtrend, something like this. We had resistance, we had a downtrend going like this. Once we broke this downtrend, that's when I started to get a little more bullish on Dogecoin. After that, the other spots that I was looking at was this resistance and this resistance. We had another downtrend going down like this. This first downtrend I was watching on the 4-hour time frame. We broke that going to the upside, and I was saying on the daily time frame, which we're on right now, we have this resistance and this resistance, which gives us a second downtrend. And I was saying once we break this downtrend, then maybe we can start shooting for these previous resistances. Let's go ahead and set up those red lines again. We had a previous resistance right here, and then we had a previous resistance right there. As long as we're trending up, these are the next targets that I'm looking at. And I do like the fact that we did break this downtrend going to the upside. We actually came up and then got a little bit of trouble right here at this resistance, or both of these little resistance spots right here, came back down and retested this bottom trend line, and we got a bounce and continued to head up. So I think retesting this trend line right here and then getting a bounce is also a bullish signal. I think one thing that we can maybe do is set up some support lines. So we have support right here, support. It looks like we have maybe two. Let's go ahead and delete this trend line because we don't really need that. But we have an uptrend. The first one is maybe something like this. And then we have another one, maybe something like this. So as long as we're trending on these uptrends, or as long as we're above these uptrends and not breaking them, I think that's a good thing. And hopefully we get support in it and continue to move up and come and hit these previous resistances, my targets. Like I said, the first one is sitting at around .165 and the second one is sitting around .184. Right now, it does look like we're having a little bit of trouble in this area, which is this previous resistance. We have a little bit of resistance right here. But like I said, I'm really targeting this spot because this was just a big downtrend in general. I think we had to break through this one first, and then now we have to break through this one. But the next spot that I'm looking at is this one. When we hit this spot, it's possible that we get a pullback and have to come back down and either retest this trend line or this one. Because if you notice, from the bottom down here to where we are right now, or up here, is a pretty nice little run. Let's go ahead and calculate that. From the bottom to where we are right now is around 35% up, and if we come up here, it's around 48%. So we can't just go up forever without getting a correction and coming back down and having to retest the bottom, or retest these trend lines at least. So in my opinion, what I'm thinking is we might come up to this red line, get a pullback and start to head down. We might have to retest this trend line, or maybe even retest this trend line down here. But as long as we're trending up, or as long as we're above these trend lines, I think that's a good signal, and I'm looking at these previous resistances right there. Let's see what happens if we can continue this uptrend and we hit these targets. Like I said, maybe we'll get a pullback. We've already got a nice little run from this little bottom down here to where we are right now. We're having a little bit of trouble with this resistance, but let's see if we could break that and come to the next one sitting at .165. If you're new to trading, check out this video right here. It's a video about trading strategies. I go more into detail about when I buy and sell. Alright, if you guys like the video, hit that thumbs up and I'll see you in the next one.